Absolutely. Let's go back to talking about Bitcoin as pristine collateral. It's something that's been floated several times, this concept. I'm not sure our viewers fully grasp it. You describe Bitcoin as the most pristine form of collateral in the world. It's in your X bio, which is fantastic. I love it. Really holding up the bullhorn on that. What makes Bitcoin superior to traditional forms of collateral like real estate and treasuries?
Yeah, fantastic question. And the answer to this is amazing, really. And we look back, what has been the most pristine form of collateral before 71 was really gold. And that's because it had that hardness to it. It was something that when someone was borrowing against it, they knew, hey, this is liquid. There's global demand for it. This makes it a good form of collateral. But the problem was it was very expensive to transport, secure, and settle. Sometimes it would cost more to transport, secure, and settle the gold than it would to even borrow against it. So it didn't make sense. It created a problem. And then the solution to that problem, unfortunately, was seen as just paper. And we saw US Treasuries really escalate quickly, fulfilling this collateral position because the security and the settlement were extremely cheap. I mean, pennies on the dollar relative to gold. Imagine you're settling $1 billion worth of securities with somebody across the world. Well, if you're doing that on a Web 2 ledger, you type a couple things in and trusted counterparties, it's done for pennies on the dollar. But with gold, you got to secure it, you got to transport. The costs are tremendous. The problem is with those US Treasuries, it created a new problem. It lost the hardness of the gold. It could be created at will. It could be expanded at the whim of a politician or at the slamming of a gavel of a government agency or at a bank extending credit. There was no limit to how it was the most softest thing you could replace it with. But then comes Bitcoin and you say, well, why Bitcoin? What makes it pristine? Because you get the best of both worlds. You get the best of gold because it takes the hardness and it makes it better with absolute digital scarcity. But then you take the easy, cheap, secure settlement from the treasuries and boom, it's right on top of that. You can see on the blockchain, people send billions of dollars of Bitcoin for just a couple bucks and they only have to wait 10 minutes for this thing to settle. So getting the best of what gold offered plus what treasuries offer now creates this new hybrid pristine collateral that we call Bitcoin, which gives you absolute digital scarcity, cheap, easy, and secure settlement. And it's amazing when you take this pristine collateral and you start to plug it into credit and debt products, it changes the dynamics of how you measure risk and how you measure credit. And as you were saying earlier, all of a sudden, what becomes a risky proposition to potentially develop a property or to build a business or to even just buy a home becomes significantly less risky because we've taken pristine collateral and integrated it into the debt product. So it's no longer based on promise. It also has a proof of work backing.
Fantastic. I think that was a great explanation for people who may not understand the concept, right? It has that saleability across space that treasuries have, but it has that hardness, that saleability across time that gold has. It is the best form of collateral ever invented. It's what Bitcoin's monetary properties have always allowed it to do, but the market has treated it like the NASDAQ. And it seems like we're at the cusp of that finally turning around, Bitcoin moving down the risk curve, away from being NASDAQ adjacent and into the bucket that gold and USTs currently occupy. I love it.